final thing I'll probably be able to touch within this is the track changes, right? And this, I think, is a really, really nice feature to have. So what is track changes? A base GTM model is a valid load flow model, right? And what we really after is the ability to track changes. So a set of edits, additions, and deletions on the base GTM model essentially, right? So these can be temporal and these might not be temporal, right? So for example, in a capacity expansion problem, you're adding components at different intervals. You might change the line, for example, the line type at a particular point in time, and we wanted to be able to track that efficiently, right? We don't want to make replicas of the same model, so we don't want the same model represented in 5 different ways. So the same JSON, just changing one thing and then rewriting that file again. We want the base model, and we want changes that are tracked on that base model essentially, right? If we're able to do that, what we can then do is build a function that just gives us a system at a particular point in time, right? And that is how we've implemented track changes essentially, right? So the idea is, here in this case, I'm just loading in an example model, and then what I can then do is add, what we're going to do is build a few changes to the system. So some additions, some edits, some deletions essentially. Once I do this, what I can then do is, so these are, for example, track changes within my model here. What I'm saying is, for scenario 1, this is when this update is going to get applied. This is going to be an edit, and what we're changing is the length to 100 meters, for example, right? Similarly, we can make additions as well, and these additions are actually going to get pulled from a catalog, right? So I talked about the equipment catalog, right? So this UUID needs to exist within the catalog that we're pointing to, right? And what we're saying is that add this at a particular point in time, and then you can have multiple scenarios within the same set of track changes as well. So this is just a list of track changes that are happening in the system, right? Once we've defined track changes, what we can then do is use filter track changes by name and date to essentially filter out a particular scenario from the list of track changes that we have. And once we have that, we can then apply a set of track changes to the system, right? And to apply those set of track changes, you can just call apply updates to the system. Here, what you'll pass is the set of track changes, right? You'll pass in the base model and the catalog with the equipment list where you're going to pull that equipment from, essentially. Does that make sense?
Did you have to implement all this stuff yourself, or is there some Python library that gives you track changes?
No, I implemented all this myself.
Can you diff to systems?
Can you diff to systems? We potentially can. We haven't done that before, but we should be able to do it. It should be quite straightforward. All right. So when I apply these changes, what's going to happen is going to go through all the changes and going to give you a list of edits or additions or subtractions that were done on the system itself. So you get a nice table that gives you like what all changes were made. And the way it is going to happen is, if you have timestamps in your updates, what I'll do is I actually sort them out chronologically. So for example, if I have 10 changes and I say I want the system at date, say 2020, it's going to apply all the changes up to 2020 and give you that model essentially, right? And that is how we're managing all of this. So for example, if I wanted to apply all changes from scenario 1, I could do that, and all of these changes are going to get implemented chronologically, and then you get the model at a particular point in time. Once this model is returned, this is going to be a JDM model again, a variant of the base one, and then you can play around with that. All right. I think I'm over time already. I really wanted to go over some of the key, introduction to the GDM ecosystem, but I would recommend you guys go through this, and if you have any questions, just reach out to me. Thank you.